While we're here, Chris, why don't we go ahead? I'll make a motion to open the meeting.
I'll second. Oh, Mike's on the phone.
A motion's been duly made and second. A roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley,
Aye.
Mr. Rowland,
Aye.
Mr. Darcy. Two
Not on yet.
already meetings called to order.
Okay, while we're waiting, why don't we start with the pledge? Anybody that is here can join me. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance
to the flag
to the flag
United States
of
of
the United States of
America,
America,
to the republic,
to the
for which it
republic
stands,
stands one nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and justice for
and
all.
justice for all.
All right. Just wait till Mike pops back on. I think he's talking to Steve.
Mhm.
For anybody that's on here, folks, we're going to be going into executive session in a minute. We'll come back. Just waiting for the town administrator to finish up a phone call. I think he's trying to find our other member.
Gentlemen, Steve is in executive session, so we can go, if you'd like, we
Okay.
can go right to executive session.
So I make a motion to go into executive session to discuss strategy regarding potential land acquisition. And if that was discussed in open session, it could have a negative impact on the negotiating position of the town. We will return to open session.
Second.
A motion's been duly made and second. A roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley,
Aye.
Mr. Rowland,
Aye.
Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy's already in executive session. Two's the majority. We'll recess and move to executive session to return to public session.
All right, folks, be back shortly. Okay, so we're back in open session. Some meetings coming up. Mike, do you mind if I hold off on the town administrator report right now? I just want to
Yes,
take
sir.
things out of order.
Yep.
Chief Tavares had another matter to attend to tonight.
He
so
did, he called me, yes.
I want to
He's
take
on.
action item B and then action item A in that order.
Yes.
Get to your town meeting report. So Chief Tavares, do you want to go ahead and tell us about our new police officer?
Certainly. Just a brief overview of the process. The police department requisitioned civil service for a list of eligible candidates for one full-time permanent police officer position. This is not a new position. This was vacated due to a retirement. A list is then developed based on a 2N+1 formula. Essentially, they double the number of hires and get to add one to it, and any ties that go along with that. And then we're able to choose from the top 3 ranked candidates that are willing to accept appointment. We thoroughly review the process with the command staff. We get recommendations from them. Obviously, the Board of Selectmen is the appointing authority for us, and we are a civil service police department. So at this time, based on our recommendations and the civil service list, our top ranked candidate is Christine Murphy. And there are no ties with her and nobody is bypassed for this appointment. And we would ask that you give her a conditional offer of employment for a full-time permanent police officer position. Just briefly, a little bit on her. She's been a permanent intermittent police officer for us for over 2 years. She's proved to be a valuable addition to our department. She's picked up numerous shifts over this time, assisting our department during our busiest periods. She received high marks from all of her supervisors and has worked well with the patrol staff who assisted her with her training. She's made great efforts to be available to our department in times of need at all hours of the day, weekends, and holidays. Her performance during these times have been absolutely terrific. She is a Marshfield resident and currently a federal contractor with the DEA out of Boston. She has experience as a campus police officer for North Shore Community College, Massasoit Community College, and Massachusetts Maritime Academy. She was also a public safety administrator at Tufts University. Christine is a graduate of the Massachusetts State Police Special Academy, as well as being a child seat certified and sexual assault certified officer. She's currently enrolled in a certification program at UMass Lowell and seeks a degree in security management and homeland security. Prior to her police career, she's worked as a security manager at a hotel in Boston and as a correctional officer at the Suffolk County Sheriff's Department. She's got a really strong work ethic, and she's done a great job as a permanent intermittent officer, and we expect that only to continue in a full-time position for the town. So I would ask, I've provided you with all the appropriate paperwork. I would ask that she be appointed a full-time permanent police officer by the Board of Selectmen. And in order to do that, she would first need to be given a conditional offer of employment.
Great, sounds great. I have no questions, pretty self-explanatory. Chris?
No, I've reviewed her information, and I have no questions. It makes complete sense to me.
Steve?
Yeah, she sounds more than qualified, like the best person and the best fit, and we're excited to have her join the department here in Marshfield.
Great. Well, we welcome her with a motion to make a conditional offer of employment to Ms. Christine Murphy for a full-time police officer.
Second that.
Motion's been duly made and second. A roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley,
Aye.
Mr. Darcy,
Aye.
sorry about that, Mr. Rowland.
It's all right.
Shouldn't be
Aye.
doing two things at once. I'm taking notes and right.
I hear you. Don't worry.
Unanimous vote by the Board of Selectmen to offer a conditional hiring to Christine Murphy.
All right, congrats, Ms. Murphy or Officer Murphy. Okay,
Thank you.
next item. I know that Chief Tavares has an interest in tonight is the potential increase to beach parking fees. Is that yours, Ms. Castro, going to take that?
I'll turn that over to Ms. Castro.
Cindy, whenever you're ready. Oh, there you are.
I'm right here.
You
So
go ahead
yes,
and give us the
we're
update on
looking-
this.
We're looking to increase the parking, resident parking sticker from 40 and 45 to 45 and 50 for this upcoming season. And that's basically to cover the cost increase for the minimum wage.
Okay, well, that's fairly self-explanatory. I clearly support the increase in the minimum wage. Where does that put us in terms of an average without, in terms of other towns? Are we in the middle, on the high side for beach parking? Do you know?
It puts us right in the middle. Duxbury obviously is higher, Situate's a little bit lower than us.
Okay. Chris, you have any questions?
No, I mean, well, I do have one question. How long has it been since we've increased this fee, Cindy?
2 years.
Okay.
I think
I mean, it seems pretty reasonable. So I
Yeah.
have no other questions.
If I, Mr. Chairman, if I may just
Yeah.
offer some additional points. The sticker fee that we charge for people for beach parking really is what generates the dollars to pay for the lifeguards, to pay for the beach attendants, any of the equipment and ancillary costs to make our beaches safe, to clean up, all of that stuff. So yes, it's an increase to the sticker. Yes, it was 2 years ago, but and the biggest part of what's driving this increase, as Ms. Castro said, is the increase to minimum wage. But just so folks are aware what the sticker actually pays for.
Thanks, Mike.
Could I just add to this just a little
Sure.
bit? I'd ask Ms. Castro to explain the second part of this increase request that is for the non-residents. That is in particular to Wrexham Beach.
Okay, so we're also asking to increase the non-resident daily parking rates for Wrexham Beach. So currently, we charge $15 Monday through Friday, and Saturdays and Sundays and holidays are $20. So we're asking to increase Monday, we'll do Monday through Thursday will be $20. Friday and Saturday will be $25 and Sunday will be $30. That's our busiest day. And we're hoping this will either push some people down towards Brant Rock where we're keeping prices the same, or not even come because of the cost. Just because we are turning away so many people. And it's causing traffic issues, which I'm sure you're aware of.
I know in the past, there's been a request to try to limit the parking or make it preferential to residents. So I think this clearly does that without making it ridiculous. So, Chris?
No,
Okay.
agree. I agree. It makes complete sense. And I think some people will self-select a little bit. Obviously, we want to welcome anyone who wants to enjoy our beaches, but everyone knows I feel that our residents should have priority. So this is a way to do that.
Steve?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, no questions.
Okay. And before, Cindy, do we know where those non-resident averages put us? Are we on the high side, middle?
We're right in the middle,
Okay, well, that's where we like to be. We don't want to be on the high side everywhere.
right?
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the resident and non-resident beach parking fee increase as proposed.
Second that.
Motion's been duly made and second. A roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley,
Aye.
Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to increase the town resident and non-resident parking sticker fee.
Okay. And Chief, I think that was it for your stuff tonight, correct?
Yes, I want to thank you very much for moving us up towards the top. It's greatly appreciated.
Okay.
But sorry, Mr. Chairman. Chief, don't you have another thing, the LoJack thing, or no?
Yes, that's just a request for to accept a donation for the LoJack Safety Net program. I believe it's a $5,000 donation from the Phillips Foundation.
Okay, well, let's go ahead. I make a motion to accept the LoJack Safety Net.
Mr. Chairman, just so I may, because I'm tangentially involved with this as your employee, I just want to disclose that my wife's a member of the Edward Phillips Foundation Trust. So just for full
Okay.
disclosure, I don't gain any financial, neither does she, but she does serve on that organization's board.
Okay, well, thank you for the info. I don't see any conflict on it. So make a motion to approve the LoJack Safety Net gift.
Second.
Motion's been made and duly second. A roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley,
Aye.
Mr. Rowland,
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept the gift of the LoJack Safety Net program from the Edward Phillips Foundation for $5,000.
And now you're officially released from the meeting, Chief.
Thank you. I will stay for the town administrator's report. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chief Suarez.
Okay, Mike, let's get that town administrator report up as fast as you can because we're running behind
Do
now.
that, sir. I participated on the week of January 25th. I participated in a Plymouth County Summit hosted by Mayor Sullivan to talk about all the challenges that the cities and towns within Plymouth County are facing regarding COVID and how we're dealing with it. We had our usual weekly COVID task force call. We did upgrades. I had a meeting with Danielle and one of our employees from the building department to review her upgrade. Also had a meeting with the Lieutenant Governor. She meets with the managers and administrators every other week. And the week of the 25th was that week. And we talked about opening up the businesses and dealing with COVID-19 and vaccination process in schools. Also I had a meeting with ZBA in the evening to deal with the police construction project. And that was to deal with an issue to allow photovoltaics on top of elevated structures over the parking. And had a meeting with Chief Corbo on some issues at the fire department. I also had a meeting with Danielle and the Board of Health to wrap up some hiring. As folks know, we're because of COVID, we needed to get some additional nursing staff for the Board of Health. They, during this pandemic, the local boards of health are the ones managing the crisis with the administration, and they needed additional nurses, and we've worked very hard to get them some additional nurses. Also, had a meeting with the rec department to go over some of their programs and the new programming that you'll hear from them later on this evening. Also, we had the groundbreaking of the senior center. It was a very cold morning, very similar to today. We did that. We had a nice crowd show up. That worked out really well. On the week of January 31st to the 6th, we had a meeting, Patrick and I and a number of folks, to discuss the Munis contract, which is changing of all the software supported by all our various departments. I had a meeting with Tracy Mayo from the Medical Reserve Corps, talk about volunteers for our vaccine. I had a discussion with BU. As I mentioned before, Boston University, as the spring semester, is working with a number of people from the Brant Rock area to look at some possibilities to improve flooding, development, business attraction, building, et cetera. So we had a kickoff meeting. Had a meeting about our vaccination clinic with a number of folks to get that up and running. Danielle and I have been involved working with the Conservation Commission to interview people for the full-time assistant conservation administrator. Also had a meeting with the ADA committee via Zoom. I brought in our facility director to go over how we approach construction projects and make sure that we're following the appropriate guidelines. We had our weekly COVID-19 task force. I had a meeting with the moderator, with town council and our town clerk to go over and talk about options for town meeting. It was agreed by that group, the four of us, that we would keep town meeting at Marshfield High School gym, which we've done really well. We're able to open all the windows there. We're able to control the environment as much as we can. And we're able to promote social distancing, et cetera. We had that going on. We had a demonstration. Patrick, I had a demonstration as part of the Munis. We've been talking about one of the modules is 311. And I mentioned this once before. And that's a module. A lot of cities use it. And for neighbors driving down the street, there's a pothole. They're able to call 311, leave a message. Hi, my name is Michael Moresco. I live on Arlington Street and there's a major pothole. Can we get it fixed? Hi, I'm Patrick Delarusso. I live on such and such a street. There's a tree branch down. Then we have a person monitor that. They email the appropriate department to take action. We get back to them. So we had a really good discussion about that. We had negotiations with DPW. My weekly update with Fred Russo on town hall projects, closing out the elevator project, school project, the fire department. Had a meeting at the fairgrounds with the Fair Association to get ready for the vaccination clinic. Had a meeting with Tom Reynolds, DPW. Tom's back as the superintendent to go over some priorities and some budgetary issues. He has agreed to meet monthly with Patrick and I to review challenges fiscally that they may have and for us to be able to address. Some more Conservation Commission interviews, and that's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Excellent. I have no questions. And Chris or Mike, any questions on that? Okay, not hearing any, I'm going to move right on. Mike, I'm going to have you come back because I don't want to rush the update on the vaccination center. And we're going to go with the 7:05 at 7:20 for Craig Jameson. Okay. Chris, Roland, I'm going to step away for a minute. Can you take Craig through this with us, please?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah, can you take this? I'm just going to step away for a few minutes.
Sure,
right back.
absolutely. All right, so Craig, are you here?
Yep, right here.
Oh, there you are. I see you.
How are you?
Just, Mr. Chairman, just so I can just, if I may, just sort of bring us to why we're here today.
Absolutely.
As folks know, Mr. Chairman, with COVID and stuff, there's been huge limitation on the types of programs that can be run and space to run them in. One of the things that Craig and his staff have done in the past is, we've done a licensed program and we have after-school programs for the kids in the schools. And One of the things that Craig wants to talk about this evening is getting away from those licensed programs. He spends an inordinate amount of time of doing the necessary paperwork to get us licensed, to get the license reviewed, to comply with all the necessary paperwork. And he wants to talk about tonight getting involved in a lot of programs that are rec type programs with sports, et cetera. So that's why we're here. He wants to get the support and hear what the Board of Selectmen have to say about his initiatives and moving in that direction. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Maresco. Craig, can you just fill us in on your ideas? I mean, I know you sent over a number of documents outlining some of this, but if you could just walk us through that for the sake of all the attendees and the selectmen as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, so thank you, Michael, for that. Going off of what Michael just said, we are trying to kind of transition into running recreational type programs and get away from the licensed childcare. And we don't want to leave that void in the town at the same time. So we work with the Boys and Girls Club a lot. And over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking, and we actually came to a solution today for at least the rest of the school year, because we've been talking to Tom Miller, the school district as well, with the elementary schools going back to 4 days a week come February 22nd. As of now, it wouldn't be possible for the rec department to get everything together for our EEC to comply with all the COVID protocols while juggling everything with how the school department's running things. But the Boys and Girls Club is exempt for a morning program at each of the 5 elementary schools. So I'd like to propose and let the Boys and Girls Club go ahead and put together the after-school programs for the remainder of this school year, if they can get exempt for after-school programs as well, because they're best suited and in a better position to do it than the rec department at this time. So going off of that leaves us at the rec department with a lot of time to run other programs, which I think is much needed in our town. So we've been putting together plans for this upcoming spring, summer, fall, and winter. We want to adapt as many programs to be outside as possible. We're going to utilize the parks, fields, playgrounds, all of our outdoor facilities as much as possible. The town trails, Coast Guard Hill. We have a lot to offer in town, the beaches. So we really think we can capitalize on that. In addition to all that, we want to implement more leagues and things for people of all ages. So these are all ideas that don't fall under licensing. They're not childcare. They're youth sports, youth activities, and that's the direction we're trying to go with the rec department. So yeah, I'll kind of go through the rest of the document I sent you. We have multi-use courts going in at the Boys and Girls Club. That was an approved CPC project. We got an update from Pat Brennan last week. He met with Poland Electric to see what is available for electricity for lighting for the courts. And then in terms of the project going out to bid, we're looking to take bids in early March and have construction start at the beginning of the season, around the beginning of April. In addition to that, we recently got approved by the CPC committee for $120,000 for a playground at Coast Guard Hill and a shade shelter. So the next step is to go to town meeting in April and hopefully get the community's vote. We really think this is an amazing opportunity for the rec department and the town as a whole. There aren't, there isn't a large playground on that side of town. And we really think it's going to be a great feature at Coast Guard Hill and get more traffic down there and help us with outdoor programming. We just rolled out new software for online registration. We have some February vacation programs that are currently up that everybody can register for. And we're also going to be using that software for recreation facility and field requests. So all the youth groups, any user group that wants to use our sports facilities or our parks that fall under the recreation department, they can go in, request online. It will come to me. We review it and approve it, and then they can pay online as well. And then it will create a giant calendar, and everybody can see what's going on. We also have Marshfield High School is going to put their schedule on that as well. So it'll be very useful for all the youth groups for fields. Some upcoming events, and obviously these are all pending on what COVID brings, but trying to be optimistic. We scheduled the Easter egg hunt at Coast Guard Hill for Saturday, April 3rd at 10 a.m. It's a free event, and you can pay $5 to get a picture with the Easter Bunny, which will be Michael Moresco's son if he's willing to do it again this year.
Yes, he will.
Awesome. I also, Nancy Bowers and I went over to Green Harbor Golf Club last week and met with the clubhouse director over there, and he agreed that we could do a glow golf tournament on a Saturday in May. We haven't locked down a date yet, but that will be out soon. So we're very excited about that. As I mentioned, we got some February vacation programs coming out. We're doing a small program at Library Plaza. So we have an indoor space and we'll utilize the community playground, weather permitting, maximum of 10 kids. We're doing a 9 to 12 program Tuesday to Friday and a 1 to 4 program. And in addition to that, we're doing an Explore Nature program at Coast Guard Hill. It's a small program, only for an hour, for kids to get outside, do some exercise, learn about gardening, and do a small craft at the end. And then from there, we have a lot of ideas for potential new offerings. Do you want me to go through all those, or?
I mean, sure. I mean, if you'd like,
Yeah, I'll go through. So they're kind of,
I
I'm
think it's
excited
good.
about them.
Yeah.
So we're trying to implement a new adult softball league. Pickleball, as everybody knows, has blown up in our town. So I'd like to establish a legitimate league for pickleball. An adult basketball league. We just talked to Marshfield Youth Basketball. They were unable to do a kindergarten through 2nd grade session, so we're going to collaborate with them for that age group, as well as try to run a youth league for the older kids. Green Harbor Golf Club was on board to do golf lessons. Really going to focus on doing outdoor activities like gardening, seeding, classes on that to teach the youth. Utilize our trails around town. And yeah, so that's just a bunch. And then all of our summer programs that we usually run, we're gonna adapt. We didn't get to run all of them last year because we didn't have access to the schools. Tom Miller did confirm to me last week that we'll have access to the school buildings once the school year is over. So that's huge for us. So we'll be looking to run all of our normal programs, which is a program at Daniel Webster School. We utilize the high school gym a lot. Yeah, so we're really looking forward to getting those going.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks for sharing that with us. It's a lot of exciting stuff in there. I mean, I think as you said, we're very, I wouldn't say unique, but we are in a lot of ways because of the open space that we have, the recreation areas that we have, our beaches, hiking trails, and those types of things. And I love seeing creative ideas and how to, to utilize those. I think leagues are a great idea, for all ages. And, I know a lot of other towns and cities obviously have those, and I've played in a few of those, and it's just a great way to meet new people. And similar, like you said, pickleball is blowing up. It is blowing up in Marshfield. My friends are getting into it. So if somebody had an idea for a program, could they contact you if they could, gather some support and bring something to you? Is that something you're open to?
100%, anytime. I'm always looking for ideas, and I'm always looking for volunteers are best, but we can hire as well and create programs. Absolutely.
Excellent. Okay, great. Steve, do you have any questions or any?
Yeah, Craig, thanks for all your hard work to continue to improve and expand our recreational programs here in town. So thanks for all your hard work.
You're very welcome.
Awesome.
And then I did have one other thing I wanted to see if I could get approval on. I sent over some facility rates, and I can explain a little bit. So let me find my document. Were you guys able to see the proposals for tennis court rates and our indoor recreational program room rates?
I did see those. Mr. Darcy, did you see those?
Yes.
So I kind of just want to explain. So the last few years for tennis courts, we've been using what we charge for the youth groups to use fields, which was $15 per player per season. Last year, it got changed to $20 per player per season. And I'd like to change the tennis courts. I think it makes more sense to have an hourly structure. And so we have our priority groups in town. So we'll keep the same priority groups as we had for the fields. Group 1 is school, recreation, and town use. We do not charge that group. Group 2 is Marshfield groups. And for tennis courts, I'm suggesting we have the 4 junior courts at Peter Igo. If anybody wants to rent those for what, it can be an organization that wants to rent it for programs they want to run, or if a family wanted to rent for a couple hours for a birthday party, they could rent it 1 court for $10 per hour, or there's 4 of those junior courts. They could get all 4 for $30 per hour. And then for the regulation size courts, there's a set of 3 at Peter Igo Park. And I'd like to charge $15 per hour per court, or for all 3, it's $30 per hour per court. And then at Marshfield High School, we have 2 sets of courts. We have a set of 3, so that will be the same, 15 per hour or 30 for all 3. And for the, there's a set of 5 courts at the high school as well. That will be 15 per hour for 1 or 50 for all 5. And then priority group 3 is just a little bit more expensive. We don't have many outside groups use the courts, and we try not to anyway, so we can have the courts open to the public and our in our in-town organization.
Okay. On these proposals, I appreciate the work. I can tell that you did some research on this. How do we fall? How does this compare to other surrounding towns? How they charge?
So this is, I'd say, in the middle to lower end of things. Duxbury, for instance, charges $30 per hour for 1 court. And then Situate does what we used to do. They charge a per player for a season of $10. So they're lower than us, but Duxbury's higher. And all the other Pembroke, Plymouth, everybody else was right around these. And these are kind of catered to what we have in Marshfield as well. And I think I do suggest that we go with these prices if you guys agree.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is the priority group number one, that would be anything in the programs that you are putting together through the recreation department.
Yes.
What you charge for people to participate in that would include the use of obviously of the fields or the courts or what have you, right?
Correct.
And then you would have the other two groups pay based on what groups they are, what priority group they are. I mean, it seems
Right.
that seems pretty straightforward and pretty like traditional in a lot of ways. And then it would work with your new software, right? So people could come on and reserve the space. They would have it reserved. That way, that would eliminate, the drop-in people, what have you. So it makes sense to me. I mean, is there any downside for this?
No, and I'd just like to point out the reason why I want to do the hourly structure is because like some groups will run a tennis clinic that's only 1 week, and then they get stuck paying what every other group that uses the fields would pay for a whole season.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
this is a better way to organize it and a better way to do it. Yeah.
Okay. That seems to make sense to me. I have no questions, further questions. Mr. Darcy?
No questions.
And then
Brad,
just
Close it out for us.
Cool.
and then just down below, we have the program room at Library Plaza and our small program room at Coast Guard Hill. We'd like to offer those to the community to rent out for $25 an hour if they wanted to do birthday parties or, a small program.
Do we currently charge anything for that now or offer that now?
No.
So yeah, seems like a nice resource, nice thing to have.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Maresco, I mean, we'll just make a motion to accept these.
If you could, I'd probably two motions. One to accept, if the board sees fit to accept the changes that Craig and the rec department is talking about, and that is moving away from the license programs and moving more towards the recreation programs. And, I did have a discussion with Craig about making sure that kids weren't displaced. And he's had a number of ongoing dialogues and conversations with the Boys and Girls Club. And they'll be picking up some of those pieces because, those types of programs are along the lines of what they do now. Is that correct, Craig?
Yeah, yep. So we're collaborating with the club, and somebody will be running those programs. So we're serving our community.
And just, Mr. Chairman, just for full disclosure, while we're mentioning the Boys and Girls Club and talking about the rec department, I just want to disclose once again, I know the board knows, but since we're having the public discussion, that I'm a member of the board of directors of the Boys and Girls Club. I don't derive any financial interest in that organization, but because of an appearance, I want to disclose that.
And honestly, I'd like to also disclose that I'm a member of the board of directors of the Boys Girls Club as well. So for the same reason Michael's disclosing it, I have no financial gain, and but I did want to disclose that as well. So thank you for bringing that up, Michael.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to make a motion to accept the recreation. I'm going to make a motion to accept the programs, the changes to the programs as proposed by by Craig. So by Mr. Jameson.
Second.
Have a second.
Motion has been made and duly seconded. A roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley.
Aye.
Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the plan to drop the EEC licensed after-school programs and move to a more traditional based recreational facility programming.
Okay, and then I'd also like to make a motion to accept the fees structure as proposed by Mr. Jameson.
Second.
Motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley.
Aye.
Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to adjust and to concur with the proposals on fee charges proposed by the rec department.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Craig.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
Okay. Moving right along to our next appointment is the planning board update and vote on FEMA flood maps. Who's up on that?
I thought that Greg was gonna be here, but I can go over some of the general information. Bear with me 1 second while I pull it up.
Is any of it time sensitive, Mike? Greg's been on it for years with all of us. I almost want to wait for his
Yeah,
interpretation.
not necessarily. I don't think there's anything that requires a major vote. Let me just check his menu, his memo, just to make sure that no votes required.
As we're running behind and Greg's not here, if there's nothing time sensitive in there, Mike, let's push this to the next meeting so we can get an update from him. But I'll
Yeah,
let you go
we
through
can
it.
do that. That's not a problem. I don't see anything that
Chris?
requires a vote.
Okay, Chris or Steve, you have any issue with that?
No.
Okay. So let's wait for Greg on this. Mike, I know you're more than capable, but I'd like to hear from Greg as he's
Yep,
been on
absolutely.
for
Let's table that, sir.
7 years or 8 years. We can table that to the next meeting, and now up, we'll have our neighbor works discussion. Rob Cooley, I know you're there somewhere. I see you got a nice photoshopped photo there, Mr. Cooley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board members and Mr. Chairman. I'm here unfortunately with some bad news. I'm sure you all saw the news media and the closing of Ocean Ave last Thursday morning early. So we had a fire at the Veterans Home and we were approximately about a month away from being complete on the interior. If it wasn't for the very quick response of the Marshfield Fire Department, I think the fire chief may now be off of this call, but I wanted to personally thank him. But we would have totally lost the building. So the fire began around 5 in the morning, roughly. It was discovered by one of our painters who came on site to start work for the day. Smoke on the first floor, fire on the second floor, heavy fire that actually burned through the rear stairwell in the newer portion of the building. So the historic part of the building was the front, or is the front, and the rear section was a newer addition that we put on for the Historic Commission space, and a stairwell that led upstairs was an egress. So the fire appears to have been an electrical fire that began in that general back hallway area and burned through the second floor deck straight up. And the building is insulated with isonine insulation, which is a very tight envelope for environmental and green reasons, which also traps in heat. So the smoke and heat damage throughout the building is extensive to the finishes, whereas the actual flame damage is isolated to the rear newer construction area. But as a result of that, we are going to have to substantially cut back our opening, approximately 4 to 6 months. We will need to strip back most of the sheetrock and finishes. The mechanicals are still somewhat in question, but to put it mildly, the room sort of right above my head here, which is towards the front of the building on the second floor, the fire lights in that room melted off the wall, and there was no fire in that area. So the heat in the building was incredible. So we had just an amazing response from the Marshfield Fire Department. I believe Duxbury, Norwell, Pembroke, and Hanover also responded to the fire. So there was windows damage and roof damage, which you typically expect, and some water damage, of course. But the significant damage actually is coming from the smoke and the heat. So difficult to get sign off on mechanicals that have been exposed to that kind of heat. So as we peel this back a little bit, it appears that we need to strip back, re-insulate, replace mechanicals where necessary, re-sheet rock, complete our finishes, and sort of turn the pages back in the spec book here about 2 months. But we do expect that this will prolong our opening until the fall. And possibly, I know that originally we had planned on opening this up on Veterans Day before COVID hit us. And so maybe that was meant to be, and maybe that is our new target. We'll know a lot more when we finish with the assessors and our insurance company, the building and the work, and the contractor McLeod has been excellent. We all have insurance, of course. The state has been notified and our funders have been notified. So there's still more work to be done. This is only really not even a few days here since this happened, but we are pivoting and mobilizing to get right back to work as soon as possible. Also, we had started the selection process for veterans. We had a lottery process. There were veterans selected. We are notifying them now that there will be a delay in the opening, and that if they cannot wait for this property, they could seek or they should seek housing elsewhere. And I'd also like to say that we've already seen just an incredible response from the town in support of this property. I've heard from many of you personally. I know many of you were on site last Thursday. So I just can't thank you on behalf of our board and our organization. The support that we received from Marshfield is incredible. We've had offers for volunteers and anything you can imagine already. So we really appreciate that. But until we're finished with our insurance company and we have our clear path forward, we won't know that until, probably another week or so. And then we'll get started right away. And we will open this building. There will be veterans living there. And the fire department and the firefighters saved it. I'd just like to echo one other thing that the chief mentioned in one of the media releases, that we are in some ways grateful that this happened now and that this wasn't an electrical fire when the building was fully occupied, potentially 5 to 6 weeks from now. Because this was a fast-moving, extremely dangerous fire. And we're just grateful that this electric issue happened now and not later. And we're looking forward to rebuilding and getting the property back online. So I'll stop there. I apologize, I'm joined by Tim Doherty, our real estate development director, who's also on the call and can answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. Again, I know we were all really upset 5:30 in the morning when we were notified of the fire. I was on the phone with you and others at 5:30 in the morning. We were all notified. It's very upsetting. We're very happy that the firefighters, saved the building such that you could already get back to work, because I've seen the crews out there the very next day, not just boarding it up, but they were stripping the boards down and already working on it. It's really upsetting. But as you mentioned, and as we all know, it would have been much more exciting had 8 veterans been in that home. We likely would have been looking at a much worse scenario. So as they say, the silver lining is that nobody's injured. The building is structurally intact from what we can tell. I know you're just, you're here 4 days after this fire, giving us an update, which we appreciate, but we know you probably get more information as time goes on. But we wanted to make sure that the town and anybody that's paying attention to it knows that we're still moving forward. We're doing everything we can. It's just going to take more time. The building will open, and we all look forward to that day, but we look forward to it opening safely and renovated from this fire. And I know you'll get it done, so we appreciate it.
Yes,
Tim,
thank you. Thank you.
Tim, did you want to add anything?
No, I think Rob covered it pretty well.
Okay. Chris?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, I don't have anything really to add, Mike. Mr. Chairman, I mean, I agree with everything all the sentiments, and again, it is a very unfortunate but fortunate situation where our brave firemen were able to get in there and save the building. And I talked to a couple of them today, and it was extremely hot fire and dangerous fire, and luckily it was buildings can be rebuilt, people cannot. So it's one of those things. So we will rebuild and we'll get it open.
Rob, did you want to add something?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just also wanted to thank Mike Marasco again for not only yourself talking to you at 5 o'clock in the morning, but Mike being on site. And the support from the town is just incredible. I know Karen as well. This building, we even heard some of the firemen referring to this building as their veterans home in Marshfield. So we're just overwhelmed by the outpouring of support for this property. And we're really looking forward to opening it. We're disappointed, but we are now very lucky that it's been saved, this historic property, and we will get it online as soon as possible. So we are going to start right away, and looking forward to updating you again in the near future on when we are scheduling our opening.
Thanks again. Steve?
Yeah, it's really devastating what happened, and just thankful for the speedy and efficient response of our fire department here in Marshfield and our neighboring towns as well. And Mike, I know you worked hard on this project and it was very near and dear to your heart. So, I'm sorry for the veterans who can't move in just yet and that we can't open it in your term, but we're definitely going to have you there and invite you back, Mike. We are finally able to open this veterans housing and build it back better than it was before.
All right, we can't keep me away. Mike, I know you were there at 5:30 in the morning or before that. So if you want to add anything, go ahead. I know we probably.
I think, Bob and Tim did a great job, and truly devastating when I got the call. The police chief picked me up. We were down there, men and women of our fire department. As Rob said, I mean, everyone was sad by this. Everyone was working hard to, get the fire to, first of all, identify the fire, where it was coming from. There was a lot of smoke. It was hot. They had to cut 3 or 4 holes in the roof. And it quickly went to a 3-alarm fire because they wanted to be able to save the building. And I believe it was Duxbury and Hanover who came to mutual aid to be able to assist. So it was quite a chaotic scene, but people were working really hard to save the building. And Mr. Chairman, to your point, Rob and his team and Tim's team, they were already there. And very quickly, they repaired the hole in the roof to prevent any further damage. And, we're gonna go on from there to get it repaired. And, I think it's sad, but, like Mr. Corley said, it's better it happened now while the building was vacant than when people were living there. They'll get it repaired and we'll get it open. And we'll make sure, Mr. Chairman, that you're there because you were the driving force with this project. So we know how near and dear this is to your heart.
Thank you. It's a team effort, and we'll get there. And before we move on to the topic, Karen, Paulette, did you want to add anything?
I'd just like to thank everybody for, supporting the cause and joining. I think it's done a lot for the town. I think our town's doing a lot of really good things. And, it's unfortunate and glad there was somebody in there. And now I'm just, eyes out if there's other vacancies where the
We lost you, Karen.
lost me.
I lost you there a minute ago, about 30 seconds.
So Todd had called and said they had a veterans house, and I don't know what kind of house it is. I haven't gotten the details, or if the veterans that were slated in this one maybe can move logistics and see what we can do for them.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Karen. And again, thank you for getting right on the rebuild, and let's just keep pushing forward. Before we go ahead, Rob, I see you there motioning. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to say, Karen, of course, we'll work with you on that when we have more details as far as what the situation is with the veterans that were slated for this property. Also, I just want to mention that, for anybody looking for information about the project, they can always come to our website and contact me directly. Also, Mike Marasco seems to always be the person who gets a lot of calls or inquiries about the property. And so those usually get to us very quickly. We've already got a few of those through Mike, but please look for us at nhsmass.org and reach out to us for any information about the veterans property. But you'll see people working there and moving forward here in the next couple of weeks.
Great. Thanks again, everyone. We look forward to the next updates, put it that way. We'll coordinate with Mike when you make some more progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Moving on. Thanks, everyone. Moving right along to our next item is, Mike, where are we at? Application for
Transfer of all alcohol, yeah.
all alcohol restaurant license, common vic license, and entertainment license from EJKD LLC DBA Green Harbor Bar and Grill, Stephen Lehman, manager, to Never Punch LLC DBA 139 Kitchen and Bar, John W. Bruno, manager. Okay, who's on for this, for these entities?
It should be their lawyer. Tina Carr is here. I saw Tina on. I see Tina's there.
So Ms. Carr.
Hi, I'm here. I think John's on phone too.
Yeah, I see he's just come on. Do you want us, somebody want to give us an overview of what you're doing here?
Is he on?
I see Mr. Bruno on here. John, is that you, John Bruno?
He's muted.
There
Can
he
you
is.
hear me now, sir?
Yep. So John, if you want
Yes.
to give us an update or a brief overview.
We're looking to transfer the liquor license so we can try to move forward in opening at some point before all the boats get into the water, sometime maybe around mid-March at that point.
Okay.
So we need to have all of our licenses transferred. We've submitted all the paperwork. We've actually been working on getting to open over the past probably 10 months or so.
So that's what I wanted to ask. So this isn't a transfer. This is not a new owner. You've been working on this since the last.
No. The Green Harbor Bar and Grills. We run the Fairview Inn as well, and we're just looking to put a nice restaurant. The Marina is working with us over COVID. We're complete new tenants.
Okay.
So it's going to be a family style bar to where we're not going to deal with any sort of riffraff. We just want a nice place for the people coming into town that aren't normally here on all their boats. They have a nice place to where they can go and have a safe drink, socially distanced. We have everything set up on the inside now for that, as well as, we have the large deck on the outside to where we'll be able to accommodate all the boaters that are coming in with the tax money.
Okay. And John, you said that you're operating the Fairview Inn restaurant now. Is that it?
Yes, sir. We're going to be operating both.
Okay.
Me and my wife, and I have a group of chefs. I have a group of about 3 or 4 chefs that are going to be working it.
Okay. So you clearly have the experience, and you're up to date on all the TIPS certified programs and things we require.
Yes, sir. I was down there talking to the Board of Health this morning.
Okay.
This afternoon.
So I really.
We do all of our TIP certifications through. We do the TIP certification through the Marshall Police Department.
And that's what we like to hear. I wish you luck in this location. It seems that this particular spot has seemingly had some bad luck with the last several owners. I hope you can do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I've been down there.
It's never been chef owned, sir.
Yeah. Well, for whatever the reason was, it just seemed like it just didn't work out for the previous owner. So I really hope you can get it up and running. It's a good spot. And I'm hoping you can, like I said, I'm hoping you can get it done and do what the others haven't been able to.
We're ready. We're ready for the challenge. I love it.
Okay. Chris.
No, I mean, look, the food at the Fairview is excellent, and I share Mr. Chairman Bradley's sentiments. I'd love for a place to stick there that's awesome, that has great food and family vibe, and I wish you all the luck, Mr. Bruno.
Thank you so much.
Steve.
Yeah, this is a challenging time right now, and you guys obviously run a very popular restaurant in town. So best of luck with your second location, and I'll certainly be by for some food and drinks when you guys open up.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'm gonna make three separate motions. They want a motion to approve the transfer of the all alcohol. You know what, Mike, I'm doing all these in one.
Okay,
I'm gonna make a motion to transfer the all alcohol restaurant license, common vic license, and entertainment license from EJKD LLC, DBA Green Harbor Bar and Grill, to 19 Kitchen and Bar, John W. Bruno, manager.
Second.
motion been made and duly second. A roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley,
Aye.
Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to transfer the license, common vic and entertainment license.
Right. So all three, and wish you luck getting the new spot open. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're at action item D. Vote a new appointment to the Historical Commission, Jack Aruka. Appreciate Mr. Aruka's involvement in volunteering his time. Have no questions. Chris.
Yeah, no questions.
Steve.
No questions.
Move to appoint Mr. Aruka to the Historical Commission.
Second.
Motion been made and duly second. A roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley,
Aye.
Mr. Rowland.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve Mr. Aruka to the Historic Commission.
Next item, discussion and vote adoption of street acceptance policy. Mike, why don't you take us through this?
Yes, I will. In your packet, you received a roadway acceptance policy and procedure. This has come about for a long time. The town of Marshfield has not been accepting streets. So why is it important to accept streets? Well, that is the only way that we can increase our Chapter 90 funding. Cities and towns get Chapter 90 funding from the legislature every year as part of the annual appropriation. The way that number grows is for the towns to increase the linear miles of roadways. As you do that, then you can get additional money. One of the reasons the DPW has been reluctant to do this is that a number of the last couple of superintendents felt as though, we have a lot of old roads that are 25 or 30 years old. They haven't been accepted. If we accept them, they need major updates not only replacing the hard top, but utilities underneath them. On this road acceptance that's being put forward, it's acceptance of a road as a public way involves 3 steps. First, the Board of Selectmen must lay out the road as a public way in accordance with the requirements of Mass General Laws, Chapter 82, Section 2124, which includes a referral of the layout to the Planning Board for its recommendation. Second, town meeting must vote to accept a road as a public way. Third, the Board of Selectmen must acquire by gift easement in the road and drainage, water, sewer, utility access buffer, and other related easements, opportune easements within 120 days from the close of the town meeting at which the road is accepted a public way. Compliance with all 3 steps is necessary for a road to become a public way. So the Board of Selectmen, as you know, you voted, we received from the DPW a listing of roads, the first time in a long time, of roads that they wanted to put forward for acceptance. The Board of Selectmen voted those roads. I think it was, if you remember, it was Stony Brook, Ridge Road, Setsbury Drive, Old Woodlot, Hollow Road, Weir River Lane, Cottage Lane, and Horseshoe Lane. Those, and then Board of Selectmen voted as part of the original roadway process. The DPW sort of had a street acceptance. This is just a rudimentary copy of it, was in your packet, but it would be presented by DPW. The Board of Selectmen would vote, then the Board of Selectmen sends it to the Planning Board. The Planning Board votes to support it. And if they vote to support it, then an article has been submitted to town meeting to accept this. And we would then comply with these new steps, Bob, Galvin Town Council worked on sort of codifying some nuances that he added to it, along with the original road acceptance. And, hopefully if this is adopted and supported by the Board of Selectmen, the roadway acceptance policy and procedures, we can move forward with starting to accept at least the newer roads, which would then give the ability for the DPW to accept an increase in Chapter 90 funding, because we're accepting, miles of new roads.
Mike, I think, and we've talked about it, I think the roads that are in the town and people pay taxes, these roads should be accepted. So I'm very happy to see this. I know that Dave Carrier seems to be on the line. Dave, are you here?
Yes, I am.
So we're very happy to see these new roads. So in the future, do you see more proposals coming our way?
Yes, sir, I do. If I might make a couple of comments.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, our current plan is basically to try a mix of both some prior approved roads that were not properly vetted down through Plymouth County Registry of Deeds for possession, and mix those new roads with older roads so that we basically are leveraging the funding for the newer roads in order to bring up the old inventory that's behind us. This is I guess kind of a pilot on us for the beginning here, because if the state funding for some reason gets cut, we'll be having to look to town meeting for any restoration funds to rehabilitate roads that might need it. I had one concern, and that was I reviewed a previous copy, I believe, from 2012, the town council had done. I have not seen the newest copy. I will be before our next meeting on the next Tuesday, but I just want to make sure that whatever is in the language there has actually met whatever review DOT wants to do, and is going to, in fact, not jeopardize receipt of funds in any way, shape, or form.
So you can clearly coordinate with Mike Maresco and Bob Galvin to make sure that language is in there. I think it is in the revised copy.
I'm counting on that fact, but I am going to basically do the due diligence before we fully vet off on it.
Sure. Do what you need to do, coordinate with Mike and Bob on it, and let's try to get as many of these roads in as we can. And for some reason, if some of them didn't get accepted, I know that I'd support it at town meeting, which I've supported for years. So I think it's upsetting that you're paying taxes in town and you can't get your road plowed or you can't get your road fixed. And that's something that's been around for years. I'm glad to see it change.
Well,
So,
I would point out that any private way open to the public, we have always plowed and sanded.
Okay.
Once the development came in and was open to the public for passage, we were in there sanding and salting and plowing.
Okay. Chris, did you want to add anything?
No, I mean, I agree. It makes. Yeah, I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see these become public ways. So
Great. Steve, did you want to add anything?
Nope.
Okay. Mike, anything else further from you?
Nope, just vote for the board.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the street acceptance policy.
second,
Motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley,
Aye.
Mr. Rowland,
aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Motion has been approved unanimously for roadway acceptance policy and procedures, and I'll make sure that Mr. Carrier gets a copy of the draft report.
Okay, thank you. And I think we're on to the minutes. Mike, do we have enough?
Yes, we do.
Okay, motion to accept the minutes of January 25th.
Second,
Motion's been made and duly seconded to accept the minutes. Mr. Bradley,
Aye.
Mr. Rowland,
aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept the minutes of January 25th, 2021.
And that's it. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Oh,
Thank you, everyone.
Mr. Chairman, just if I may, we had on the update, you want me to give an update on the drive-through vaccination?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. How could I forget this?
Please.
No, this is the most important thing on it.
No
One of the most
problem.
important things. Let's take as much time as you need for it, Mike.
Okay, so very exciting day for the residents of Marshfield. We opened the vaccination drive-through clinic at the Marshfield Fairgrounds. We inoculated 125 folks today. along with some volunteers. And today was really the first day. We tried to work out some of the kinks. We tried to anticipate everything. The process is you go to the state website and you sign up for your appointment through the state website, DPH. You have to be in one of those categories in phase 1 of the first step in phase 2. First step in phase 2 is seniors 75 and older. Once you schedule your appointment, which a lot of people did over the weekend, you show up like 10 minutes before your appointment to check in at the fairgrounds. You pull in by the gate across from the fire station. You're met by greeters. They'll do the basic check-in, make sure that you don't have a fever, make sure that you haven't come into contact with someone with COVID. You yourself does not have COVID. Then you go on to the second check-in where they verify that you're once again on the list for your appointment. They give you information on the medication, tell you things that you need to watch out for. They go over the process of you getting the shot and then having to be observed. And then volunteers will direct you to one of the 4 tents that are giving the inoculation. Medical folks will come out. That is the Marshfield paramedics giving out the medication. We have nurses to assist them and medical staff to assist them, keeping track of the necessary paperwork required by the Commonwealth. People get their shot. They don't have to get out of their car. They simply take their arm out of their coat, roll up their sleeve so you can get into the upper shoulder portion of the arm. And once that's completed, then they are directed by volunteers to the observation area. If you have no issues, it's a 15-minute wait for Pfizer. If you have 1 or 2 comorbidities, it's a 30-minute wait. How do we know when the time's up? When the medical personnel give the shot, they write on the windshield with colored chalk. We were using a pen this morning, but we quickly found out that because of the severe cold, the particular pen didn't work. So we reverted back to old-fashioned chalk to write on the windows. And people wait there. Once their time is up, they don't have any issues, they drive off. If they have issues, we have medical personnel on hand. We have a dedicated ambulance and paramedic staff ready to assist those people. If necessary, they'd be able to transfer them to a hospital. I can tell you the first day, everything went great. There were really no issues and no one had to be transferred. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing, we jumped to 250 and then 350 and then 450 and 500 by the end of the week, and then 600 a day starting next week. We wanted to start off slow to make sure we had the process down pat. The number 1 goal is not to waste any of the vaccine. Once, if we had extra vaccine, we did today. We had a few shots and we didn't want to waste them. We reached out to Carol Hamilton. She had a list of about 9 or 10 people that she was able to send down immediately. And we also, if you do 3 shifts as a volunteer, you get a shot. So we took care of some of those people. So all in all, it was very successful. The people that came there were very, very happy to see how easy it was. It was a lot easier to get the shot. And people, honestly, some of them said it was challenging to get appointments, especially if you're trying to do for your husband and wife. But I can tell you, children that drove their elderly parents down to get the shots, they were related, how nice the staff was, how easy it was to get in and out of the fairgrounds, and how quickly the process moved. And, anyone driving by the fairgrounds saw us. We had a number of media show up. We had a nice ribbon cutting that the selectmen all participated in, our state rep and our state senator, and a representative from our congressman's office and a representative from Senator Markey's office. So we're off to a really good start. It's very exciting. And we're working with Dr. Irons. He's overseeing as the medical professional program, working with Deputy Michael LaSalva, who I asked to oversee the actual running of the clinic on the ground. And he's been doing a fantastic job, leaving no stone unturned. And they keep meticulous records on all the medication, which is required by the Department of Public Health. We file all the initial reports at the end of the day, and we're going to continue to do this. This is open to not only Marshfield residents, but to the whole county. People had heard me talk to the board a number of times now. Originally, the state did want us to do the whole state. Then they said the county. The board had originally agreed on us and about 6 communities, and some of those other communities partnered with some other people. The state came back and said, we really need to get people inoculated. You have that great site, the Marshfield Fair. I also want to give special thanks to the Fair Association, Lenny LaForest and Carlton Chandler, and the Horticultural Agricultural Association for allowing the fair to be used. We agreed with the Commonwealth that we would open it for all of Plymouth County. And so it's Plymouth County residents can come and be vaccinated as long as they go through the DPH website and they're in the categories that are allowed by DPH to get their shot. And, money that we expend as a town, because I know, I heard from people that people are saying, why are we spending money? We have to front the money, but we do get reimbursed from the Commonwealth, and we'll be able to go after FEMA money for what the Commonwealth's money doesn't cover. And I think, we have a good plan. We got good people in place. And I'm happy to answer any questions, but we're going to continue to do this at least through June 30th, and then we'll reassess and see where we go from there.
Thanks, Mike. I know that this is something we've all been working on for over 2 months. Nobody harder on it than you. You did a great job. I was there with Chris and Steve this morning and many other volunteers and all the members of the fire department. And it really went smoothly. Cold day, but a good day that we got it open and running. And I look forward to, vaccinating. I think it's somewhere close to 70,000 people, Mike, before we may be done with it.
We could do possibly 94,000 shots by June 30th. We're going to be doing about 600 a day, 3,600 a week.
And that's basically the full capacity for anybody's listening. If you timed it out with the schedule that Mike previously mentioned, that's the max capacity daily. So we're doing our part to vaccinate our entire region without excluding anybody. And I think we should be as inclusive as we can be, because it only helps us. In terms of, the effort, again, is an incredible effort, a sustained effort from all of us. But again, Mike, you did a great job pushing this through from the state. And really, the first day was a great example of how we're going to get it done. This is how we're going to move on. So please bear with us with working with the state website. We do not control it. We have to go through that site. But as you can see from today, people were able to make their appointments and they were able to get in. And we're trying to prioritize our seniors where possible. And it's really a great effort. And it's a culmination of months and months of hard work to get it done. And again, it's not just for Marshfield, it's for everyone. Chris, did you want to add anything?
The only thing is, it's just, I'm very proud of Marshfield and the town. The different entities that have come together that have previously been mentioned, but I have to also just thank our town administrator, Michael Moresco, and Patrick Delarusso. The early decision to buy those freezers and to bring that before us for approval. I've said it, I think it's kind of the linchpin. I think it kind of got the things moving, it showed that we were serious as a distribution point. And as of today, we're doing some pretty special things here in Marshfield to combat this terrible virus. So again, great work, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Rowland.
Steve.
Yeah, I'm grateful for the team that we have in place that was able to put this plan together. And today was the start of something really special that took a lot of time and effort on your part, Michael. You were really key to this whole thing. Thank you for what you're doing for our town and our Commonwealth and Plymouth County. Patrick, you worked really hard. Marshfield Police, Marshfield Fire, and of course, John and Jay and IT were plugging away today to resolve an earlier issue. So just so many great people worked really hard to make this happen, and just we're really fortunate for the folks we have in our community.
Thank you.
Certainly an all hands on deck operation. I don't think there was a department that wasn't represented either by working there or by volunteering today, Mike.
No, people were very excited, Mr. Chairman, to be there and to participate in something so important because this is the only way we're going to get our lives back to normalcy before COVID-19. The one other thing I wanted to mention, and I think it's important, dealing with elderly 75 and older, some of those people don't have access to computers, and they need assistance, and it's kind of nerve wracking to be waiting. Sometimes it can take an hour or more to schedule an appointment. The senior center, people can call the senior center main number, and Carol has about 4 or 5 people, and they'll get on the phone with, you know, a husband, a wife, or you know, a single person, and they'll get on to the computer website, the DPH website, and get the appointment scheduled for them to make it easier to help them, especially if they don't have access to a computer. So we're doing that, you know, a step further to make sure that those people, you know, those most vulnerable of our society are assisted.
Great. And Mike, one thing I think I forgot or meant to lift out is that I asked you the other day, is that a question about what are we going to do about housebound seniors? And I know you have the plan. Do you want to just update us on our plan
So
for
what
that?
we're going to do, Carol Hamilton is putting together a list of all of the people that are homebound. And those are people that don't have the means to get out of their house. Either there's physical, something physical with their health that prevents them from getting out, or they don't have any relatives in this area and they're stuck at home and they don't drive. We're looking at one of the plans, and a lot of the other cities and towns are doing this, and that is that we hire a company. I'm going to be looking into, I'm told that Brewster Ambulance Services provides this, and we give them a list of our people. I have to work out, you know, how they handle the form, how they handle the medication, and they would go house to house. They actually go inside the house, and they do the appropriate screenings, and then they give the medication. They stay there while the person goes through the view process to make sure that they don't have an adverse reaction. So you'll be hearing more about this when I'm about to propose the acceptance of a company to provide this service.
Great. Let's get that. Whatever you need from us, Mike, we'll get that fast tracked.
Great.
So again, great job, everyone. And I'm very proud of us. And I just want to thank everybody again. And thanks, Mike, for, you know, I know you worked on it because I think we talked about it every day for 6 weeks. So
absolutely, Mr. Chairman. We just need one thing, if I may, if I could ask the board to take a vote
yes,
of supporting the expansion of the vaccination program to include all of Plymouth County residents.
yeah. So it'll be an update. So motion to expand the vaccination program to be inclusive of all of Plymouth County and the region.
Second.
A motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley?
Aye.
Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to extend the program to all of Plymouth County residents. Thank you.
Okay. And I think that's it now, Mike, if I didn't
Yes,
miss
it is, Mr. Chairman. Yes,
All right.
it is, sir.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Long day. I know we were all out there early, so let's let's adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion been duly made. Roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley?
Aye.
Mr. Rowland?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to adjourn. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Stay healthy.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.